Obviously, Avengers Doomsday is coming, and a lot of stuff and information has been starting to fly out. Now, I remember I told you guys, this is weeks ago. I said, listen, from all the people behind the scenes I'm talking to in the whispers, I am predicting that by summer, everything's going to be out there. Because, a couple of months ago, I got read into everything that happens in Avengers Doomsday.
Yeah.
And I wondered at that time if any of the stuff from the movie would get out. And sure enough, a lot of information came out that was totally wrong. Believe me, there's a bunch of information about Doomsday that's floating around out there that people are accepting that is completely not true. But at the same time, we've been seeing actual information starting to come out. And so what I have said about the whole thing is that I will not be the one to reveal anything about anything that happens in Avengers Doomsday. However, I've said before, if certain pieces of information start getting out widely, I will comment on, if it becomes a big wide thing and like a bunch of people are now reporting it, I'll talk about it because everybody else is. I'm not going to exclude myself from talking about it.
Yeah, it's all over YouTube and it trades.
Yeah,
so.
That brings us to the issue of Loki in Avengers Doomsday. Now, there have been several major fan outlets, including Emergency Awesome, Daniel RPK, and the Cosmic Circus, and many others, have started repeating a couple of pieces of information about Loki. One of the things that they have been saying in these reports, like this one here, is that Loki's role in the movie is actually really, really quite small. And what I can say to that is, to the best of my knowledge, because remember, even though I've been read into everything that happens in Doomsday months ago by thank you to my friends in London, I haven't seen it. And things could change.
Yeah, you saw a draft.
Yeah, I won't say specifically what it is I saw, but I haven't seen the movie. I mean, there are things that I've been told that maybe were correct and get changed. So I'll just say, to the best of my knowledge, is that I've always said, when it comes to Loki, he has a very important role in the movie, but I have said it's not a big role. It's incredibly key. It's incredibly important, but it's not a big role. So with all these outlets now out there talking about that Loki is now saying it's a small role, I can tell you what I've already said before, which is, it's a small role, but it is a very, very important role. It's an important role. Now, that brings up the other thing that all these outlets have been saying. I mean, even just this morning, I was watching the Cosmic Circus video on it, and they brought up and said that now all the sources are saying that Loki is the one who takes Steve Rogers, because remember at the end of Endgame, he goes back in time and just lives out his life with Agent Carter, right?
Yeah.
But we've already talked about how when that Fantastic Four ship comes by, not only is the Fantastic Four on it, but Doctor Doom and Captain America Steve Rogers are on the ship as well. So what all these outlets are now coming out and reporting and saying is that Loki is the one who took Steve Rogers from that timeline and put him in the other reality of the Fantastic Four. So when Fantastic Four, the movie, is going on, somewhere in that world, Steve Rogers is there. And he's now on that world. And I will tell you one thing that I know is coming out because an online scooper has already, they haven't made it public yet, but they're about to make it public in the next couple of days. So I'll just tell you it now, that not only is Steve there, but so is Agent Carter and their child. They are all living on the Fantastic Four world.
Which we would assume.
Which everybody assumes anyway. So that's not really a big stretch. That's not a big stretch. So again, and And again, the only reason I'm bringing this one up is because now a ton of these outlets are now reporting it, so I might as well comment on it now. Like I said, I'll never be the one to break any of this stuff, but if it's already out there and everybody's talking about it, I can tell you the two things that are true. That Loki's role is fairly small. Very small. But it's vital and it's important, and I'm not even giving you all the reasons why it's important. I'm not going to go into all the reasons why his role is really important in it, but his role is really quite important in it. So there you go. Now look, there is another thing regarding Loki that, you know what? I probably even shouldn't say this. Okay, so I'll say this. There is something else going around about Loki's involvement in the movie that a bunch of people are saying that is absolutely wrong. I won't say what that specific thing is. You guys probably already know what you guys can probably figure it out. But outside of how big or small his role is, and outside of the fact that he's the one who brings Steve Rogers to Fantastic Four, there's one or two other things being said about Loki's role in the movie that are completely dead wrong. And again, I won't go into naming the specifics of it, but just to say that the other stuff you're hearing is probably wrong. So look, yeah, there's that. Now I want to reemphasize that there could be some things that happen in this movie that I'm not aware of, because while I was read in, some things might change. Some things might be based on older information. Some things might get changed when they do reshoots. I mean, who knows? There's a lot of that kind of stuff, but the size and relevance of Loki's role is pretty set in stone. So I can tell you that. Look, did I want a bigger role for Loki? Because you guys know Loki is like in my top 5 favorite MCU characters.
Mm-hmm.
Like at the very top is Steve Rogers. He's my absolute favorite. But others include M'Baku, Loki, Thor, in no particular order. But Loki has always been one of my favorite characters in the universe. But that's not to say he could not necessarily have a bigger role in Secret Wars. I don't know. I have no insider information of that. But no matter what happens in Doomsday and what characters are or are not there, there's still a world of possibilities of what can happen with these characters in Secret Wars once we get to there. So we'll just have to wait and see, and I'll just cross my fingers that we get to see more of Tom Hiddleston as Loki, because I love him in that role. Anyway, guys, question is for you. What do you think about this? All the reports going around that Loki does not have a big role in the movie, but it is an important one, and that he's actually the one that takes Steve Rogers from where he is, where he ends up at the end of Endgame, and puts him on the Fantastic Four world. Do you like the sounds of that? Does it raise more questions for you? Anyway, whatever you guys think, jump down into the comment section below and let us know your thoughts. Hey guys, thanks so much for watching this video. Make sure you like the video, leave a comment, and subscribe to our channel. And don't forget, we have a daily podcast called the John Campea Show Podcast, available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or your favorite podcasting app of choice. Go and subscribe to it today so it'll be there when you need it.